All right, so after the aftermath of UFC 329 with Conor McGregor, obviously, kind of failing us, letting us down against Max Holloway, we have another card this upcoming Saturday in Oklahoma City. Is Dricus Du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman fight night on July 18th. Like I said before when I was doing predictions video for UFC 229, I'm saying like a lot of these main events, bro, the next main events for these cards, fight nights, bro, before we get to 330 are gonna be very good, bro. We have a lot in store for these next couple weeks, anticipating for like the big numbered card 330. So obviously with this fight, when it first got announced, I was kind of surprised, honestly, a little bit that it was like being announced like right now. I thought it was gonna happen a little bit later, maybe early August, but like that, but UFC 30 starts. I mean, like Abu Dhabi and like the China car, all that stuff happens. So obviously, they gotta put it in this space because it makes more sense. I mean, I wasn't really surprised, but like I thought Dricus Duplessis was gonna fight somebody else, but Usman versus. I mean, I was hearing rumors about it too, so in all honesty, it makes sense why this fight was being made. So let's go to move on to this card. And if you enjoy this content, like and subscribe, comment if you want to see, having ideas, want me to do, I'll do them. But let's do predictions for this card on every fight. Tell you who wins, why they win, how they win. Here we go. Obviously, for the main event, we have Dricus Du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. This is a ranked matchup. This is a very important matchup. There's a lot of anticipation for this matchup. I've been seeing a lot of Kamaru Usman like hype on Instagram, like not hype in general, like in terms of like other people hyping up, but like hype that like he's he seems like really good, like he's ready for this fight for sure. Like this is a big fight. He is 39 years old. He is almost 40. He's getting close to 40. And DDP is, he's still young. He's still in his prime. Kamaru Usman out of his prime. But like the main problem I have with this, Kamaru Usman like coming back now is that like I feel like this fight could have happened like Kamaru Usman could have fought somebody else or something. I don't know, because he took a year layoff. But the problem is he's like 39, bro. Like, there's no point taking a year layoff when you're that and like in that at this point in your career and your age, bro. Because like I feel like you're kind of like delaying yourself from bigger opportunities or even lesser opportunities. Like maybe you could have fought another guy who was in the top 15 in the middleweight division. He like and he could have fought anybody else, not anybody else, but like anybody around like his like number. But he did not take a year layoff after defeating Joaquin Buckley. And so he's coming off a win. But in his last five fights, he was on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost to Kamzat. I mean, he lost to Leon Edwards. He hadn't won since 2021 up until the Joaquin Buckley fight, which is insane. That those fights kind of really destroyed him a lot. We know what it is. Now we're on to the next. On DDP side, he's coming off a loss to Kamzat for the middleweight belt, and obviously Kamzat lost that up with Sean Strickland. I actually do like DDP a lot. I mean, he's a really goofy guy to me. Like I like his fighting. Hopefully, I do want to see him fight Sean Strickland in the future if he still has the belt, and we probably will have the belt. There's a lot of talk Sean Strickland too, but we're focused on this card right now. So let's get back to it. DDP to me, he's not the best wrestler, but I feel like he may have improved on his wrestling from the past, fight of Kamzat, because Kamzat was destroying him on the ground. When it comes to wrestling, he was taking him down a lot. Like DDP had no clue to stuff takedowns or stop them at all. So Kamzat already dominated. So that was like the really like main reason why DDP lost. But I feel like he may have improved. He may have learned how to wrestle a bit better. May have learned how to stuff takedowns. Because Kamaru Usman is a wrestling guy. He loves going for takedowns. He loves shooting takedowns on people, especially guys who he deems as like smaller or weaker than him. Like let's say against like Kobe Covington, he shot a bunch of takedowns against him. And but like in terms of like striking, I'm giving out the DDP. Grappling, I still got the DDP. Like I honestly think like on the ground and on the feet, like DDP has a chance of winning both of those. I don't see a KO in this matchup though, which is not it's not surprising, but I just don't see a KO at all. I honestly think like this fight will end in a decision, so I'm taking DDP by decision. There's a big size advantage between DDP and Kamaru Usman. DDP looks brolic, he like way more muscular than Usman. I mean, I don't know. Like Usman still looks strong, but like his footwork has gotten slower. He's at a disadvantage in this fight for the size difference. You know, his body's getting weaker. He's like 39 years old. He took a year layoff. There's a lot of things that are against Usman in this fight. But you know, even if he loses this fight, you know, he's at the end of his career. He still attempted to try, you know, get back up there and contend for a title, which is like crazy at 39. But you know, I'm taking DDP by decision here, you know, and then he's on to the next, trying to get back to the belt. For the co-main event, we have Jared Cannonier versus Christian Leroy Duncan. This fight, to me, is another fight like it's another very extremely older guy versus a young guy in his prime who, you know, like in Christian Leroy Duncan's case, like he's pretty good. Like he's a very flashy fighter. He does a lot of things that not many people implement into their fighting style as consistently as he does. And you know, like in Jared Cannonier's last fight, like you could see the chinniness in him. Like he's been getting dropped in his past couple of fights a lot, bro. But his chin has been like like it's been like going away like slowly, like and slowly over the past couple of years. Like he used to be like he's still a durable guy, but when it comes to his chin, bro, you pop him on the chin like maybe like not even a light tap, like you know a jab, he could fall down from that. He could get knocked down, and that's not something like, bro. You know, I mean, but like you know, he has good leg kicks. We've seen that. He still has good striking. He's durable, he can take damage. He's always coming at somebody. Like he doesn't care about like that's why he's so durable. He's always coming at somebody. He doesn't care about the damage he's taking. He's just come at somebody and try to knock him out. But with Christian Leroy Duncan, this guy can throw flying elbows, flying spinning kicks. You know, he's on his prime. He's a very tall, lanky guy. So I'm taking Christian Leroy Duncan by like a second round KO. Like I love Jared Cannonier, the killer gorilla. But you know, Christian Leroy Duncan's he's an up and coming guy. Like he wants to contend for a belt eventually. So, you know, give me Christian Leroy Duncan by finishing round two. Next up, third fight on the card and the still on the main card. We have Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez. You know, I never really cared about Mitch Ramirez at all. A big problem with Mitch Ramirez as well is that he has no ones in the UFC, which is really bad, bro. And you're going up against a guy who's been in the UFC for a while, who has good wins in the UFC, but like, but another thing, like Mitch Ramirez isn't really that good at all in general. Like from what I've seen, he's been KO'd a couple of times as well, which is, you know, not the greatest thing. Like, but you know, Chase Hooper does have like Chase Hooper, another guy like whose chin is like not very strong, bro. And he is also has no striking to me. Like I think his striking isn't that good at all. Like his striking is really bad. And in his last two fights, he's been KO'd. Like both his losses in his last two fights, he's been KO'd, which is bad as well. But I do think he can come out on top. He can honestly take Mitch Ramirez. Now, I don't think Mitch Ramirez is a good takedown defense. Like I don't really know too much about his takedown defense, but like I would assume Chase Cooper's going to take him down, and Chase Cooper's a grappler, so he's honestly going to submit him. So this fight is also another finish. So I'm going to take Chase Hooper by like a submission, bro. Whatever he wants on the ground. He's a really good grappler, not a good striker, but if the fight gets to the ground, hopefully, you know, Mitch Ramirez might try to keep him on the feet. You know, Chase Hooper's going to take him down on the ground and submit him. So I'm taking Chase Hooper. Next up, we have Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montez. You know what? Like, I know a lot of people hate Tommy McMillan, but I have a just about reason for like not thinking he's all that. Like in his last fight where he won, like he went to war for a random guy, bro. Like I don't understand, bro. How do I tell you Tommy McMillan is about to get like destroyed by a real UFC prospect? Alberto Montez won. Most of his wins come by submission. Like he has seven wins out of 12 by submission. He's a really good submission specialist, bro. He's known for his anaconda choke as well, which is like really cool too. And he's had one fight in the UFC so far. He beat Ricky Turkey. Ricky Turkey is like a can, bro. He's like a he's like an easy pickings, bro. He's easy to beat. But like he submitted him. I mean, most of the ones are come by submission too. But Tommy Mayweather, like he's a very durable guy as well. But in a lot of his fights, he'll just come at you. He doesn't care what the damage he's taking. That's the problem with him. He's like Jared Cannonier in a way. Like he'll just come straight forward at you, still protect himself, but take a lot of damage in the process. And I think that's a problem with some guys where like they do that. They don't realize that the more damage they're gonna take, bro, they're probably gonna get knocked down sooner or later, early in the fight, and that's not a good thing. And also, and like another thing, like he doesn't move his head at all. Like in his last fight against the Malono Zucchini, like he had no head movement at all. He was just like just taking shots, but he still ended up being this guy because this guy wasn't really good at all either. He was worse than Tommy Malono. But Alberto Montez is better than both of these guys, and this guy is really good. He's an extremely good grappler, and even on the feet, he has a lot of knockout power. And I feel he's gonna knock down Tommy McMillan a couple of times throughout the fight, honestly. But when the fight gets to the ground, bro, Tommy McMillan's gonna have no way to get out of Alberto Montez's like submissions, like attempts, and he's gonna get submitted, bro. So give me like a round two submission by Alberto Montez. Next up, we have Tabitha Ricci versus Fatima Klein. I mean, Tabitha Ricci is not good striking at all, bro. Like she has so many close wins in her career as well in the UFC. Doesn't really impress me, bro. I'm surprised she's ranked number 8, honestly. Like I forgot she was even a ranked fighter until this card came about. But there's a big like trend in this card where there's a lot of guys who like are good on the ground but not good at striking. And Tabitha Ricci is one of them. She's not a great striker at all, but on the ground she has good jiu-jitsu. She knows what she's doing when it comes to being on the ground. But Fatima Klein is a good striker, and I feel like even if this fight goes to the ground, Fatima Klein is still gonna find a way to ground and pound Tabitha Ricci and win. Like she in her past couple of fights, she has some really good KO wins, and her only loss comes to Jasmine Jazz the Vicious, who was her first fight in the UFC, I believe, when she lost that, which is fair. Not everyone wins their debut fight in the UFC. That's a common thing, But Fatima Klein so far has been a good winning streak. She has a lot of good KO wins, a lot of good wins over good competitors. Tabitha Ricci doesn't impress me at all. Very close wins, bad striking. I'm taking Fatima Klein by a KO. Give me like a round 1 KO by Fatima Klein, honestly. Next up, we have my guy, Austin Bashi versus Jose Miguel Delgado, another one of my favorite prospects. Well, I like both these guys. It's gonna be hard to choose against, between both these guys. You know, the thing is, Austin Bashi, he has a wrestling background, and he's a very good he's like a pretty good grappler. He's not very much of a striker. Like, I'm not saying striking is bad, but I would say Austin Bashi striking is not like, that good. He's not on the level of Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper is like no striking at all, but he's on a level where he can strike at people, but he's not really a very good like he doesn't really pack a lot of power in his punches, in my opinion. Against a guy like Jose Miguel Delgado who can take a lot of damage as well. But Jose Miguel Delgado is like extreme, like he's crazy, bro. Insane. He's a lot of he's a KO like guy, bro. He gets a lot of KO wins. He's got so much power in his striking, bro. I feel like if Austin Bashi can maybe withstand, I like Austin Bashi. If he's able to get a bunch of takedowns on Jose Miguel Delgado, I feel like he could win this fight. Just keep Jose Miguel Delgado in one spot. I'm not really too much sure about Jose Miguel grappling, bro. I mean, I don't really think. Like, I feel like if Austin Bashi can get on the ground, Delgado can escape probably, but like Austin Bashi gonna keep on doing it over and over again if it works. Because I don't know if Miguel Delgado can stop those takedowns. But I'm taking Miguel Delgado by decision. I think he's a lot of knockout power. But I think Austin Bashi maybe can withstand it. If he just keeps on trying to wrestle with him, trying to grapple, then I think he can honestly like stand with Jose Miguel Delgado. But Delgado obviously going to try to keep the fight on the feet and try to get a knockout win. But give me Delgado by decision. I like both these guys. I feel like it could be a close fight. With the takedowns and the power and his striking. But I'm taking Delgado. Next up, we have John Paul Lesbiani versus Siokyon, if I'm saying that correctly, Ko. Now, another fight, similar like Austin Bashi and Delgado. Jean Paul Lesbiani is another wrestling type of guy who loves to shoot takedowns. He did it a lot in his first fight in the UFC, which he only has one fight in the UFC, I believe. And he won the Contender Series as well. But he's versing a guy by the name of Seokyeon Ko. And Seokyeon Ko is a very good grappler. Extremely good. But the thing is about his grappling, like the thing about his resume is that most of his wins come by knockout. And he has a lot of knockouts, pretty good amount for the amount of fights he has had in mixed martial arts in his career. And I feel like this fight's gonna stay in the field. Like John Paul is gonna shoot a lot of takedowns, like he did in the Phil Rowe fight, and he also beat. Thing is with these two guys, before I get onto the takedown part, both of them fought Phil Rowe, but the difference is that Jean Paul Lesbiani had a close fight with Phil Rowe, and Seokyeon Ko had a very like dominant performance against Phil Rowe. So like there's a difference between these two guys. But in terms like I feel like Seko and Ko gonna try to keep this fight on the feet, obviously. But overall, like John Paul Esmagnan is gonna be really aggressive with like trying to wrestle him, kind of like Austin Bashi. I said Austin Bashi. Both those guys are gonna try to really be aggressive with the refs and try to be relentless, try to make sure they keep him on the ground. But Second Ko is a very good grappler though, so I feel like if it goes to the ground, he could submit him. But honestly, I'm taking Second Ko by a finish. He could submit him, could KO him. I can't really pick between the two, but obviously he's gonna finish him like around like 2, 3. No, I mean like an early round 3 submission finish. I feel like Lesbian Young's gonna survive round 1 and round 2. Try to keep like keeping aggressive with his wrestling, but overall, Second Ko's gonna take that win and finish him in early round 3. Okay, next up we have Levi Rodriguez Jr. versus Felipe Franco. I mean, this fight. So this guy's also making his debut. Levi Rodriguez Jr. is making his debut in the UFC. I mean, I'll start with him first. Like, he got a KO in the Contender Series, but the biggest problem with this guy is that he didn't really impress me that much. But another thing is that like that win in the Contender Series got overturned because he took like he's on some type of substance, like illegal substance you're not supposed to take in a fight, and he got caught fit, and the fight was overturned to no contest, which makes sense because you can't drug up before a fight. Like I don't know if I'm gonna do that in this fight either. But we have no clue honestly. But I'm taking Felipe Franco because he had a very close fight against Mario Pinto, and Mario Pinto was ranked at that time, which is like. I mean, I believe he's still ranked as well, but Mario Pinto, like he fought a ranked guy in Mario Pinto and stood his own. It was a huge size difference as well, between Franco and Pinto. And Franco held his own. He's a very durable guy, bro. He can take a lot of damage, a lot of damage. Like he's stronger than he looks, despite his size. And I honestly think, he has the more experience over Rodriguez Jr. I mean, he's the more durable guy. I feel like he's going to, end up dominating this fight against Lee Rodriguez Jr. And probably he's going to finish him. And I'm not impressed with this guy at all. So I'm taking Felipe Franco, round 1 finish. He's gonna KO him, bro. It's gonna be easy win for like this is the easiest win of his career, bro. Watch. Give me Franco. Next up we have Alden Correa versus Stuart Nickel. Now Stuart Nickel, man, like he's on a 3-fight losing streak, bro, and he's not gotta win the UFC at all. 3 fights, no wins in the UFC. It's really bad, honestly. Like dude, like he just is not good, bro. It's hard to be like, that negative about a guy, but he's just not good. He's bad losses. Like he lost to Alessandro Costa, Jesus Aguilar, and he lost to Lucas Roca, and like those 3, like Costa is fair, Aguilar is fair, Roca is like but like he's been finished in 2 out of his 3 losses. That are all 3 in a row, which is bad. The thing about Auden Correa is that he also beat Alessandro Costa, which is like and he finished them as well, and he's on a 3-fight win streak right now. And he in his first in his 2 fights, he won by decision against Luis Garude, and he beats Alessandro Costa, I just mentioned, by KO. And so far he's fought in good comp, but I feel like Stuart Nichols a drop in his competition that he's fought. And Stuart Nichols is not really good, and I feel like Auden Correa's boxing is pretty like good enough to beat up a guy like Stuart Nickel. I think Stuart Nickel could survive, but like at the end of the day, I'm gonna take Auden Correa by finish like late round 3. I think Stuart Nickel could maybe hold his own, but like Stuart Nickel is just not good. He's not good. And if he loses this fight, he should be cut from the UFC, bro, because it's unacceptable. Like you were upcoming prospect, bro, and you lose 3 straight. I mean, he did fight some good comp like Jesus Aguilar and Alessandro Costa, but Auden Correa beat Costa. So I don't know. I'm taking Auden Correa by finish though. So okay, we have RJ Harris versus Alvin Hines, another big guy fight. Like like we have light heavyweight fight in this card. We have a heavyweight fight in this card. It's a big guy fight. RJ Harris is another guy who's making his UFC debut on this card, and he still on short notice as well. I mean, thing about this guy is that like he's another guy that does not impress me from his film in the regional scene, like in other promotions, bro. Like from his last fight, he had really bad head movement. He wasn't really like his techniques feel like a little bit underdeveloped because he hasn't been fighting for that long. Right now, like Alvin has been fighting for a couple of years. RJ Harris literally started fighting like bro, like a little over a year, which is crazy, bro. Like he's been fighting for like 15 to 16 months, bro, which is crazy. And Alvin Hines in his last fight against Renato Diniz, he had a pretty good performance. Even though he lost, very good performance. He was, taking a lot of shots, but once again, this is a pretty good durable guy, and he took a lot of shots and he's able to, stand up Diniz. And he has more experience. He's a better striker for sure. I feel like he's gonna piece up RJ Harris the whole all throughout this fight. Not gonna finish him. I mean, Alvin Hines does have, finishing potential. He could finish people. But I just think he's going to just beat the crap out of RJ Harris all 3 rounds and win by unanimous decision for sure. I mean, he's just gonna beat this guy up. No offense to RJ Harris, in making his debut, not enough experience. I feel like if he has no head movement against a guy who can who can strike like Alvin Hines, Alvin Hines is gonna beat him up badly. So I'm taking Alvin Hines by decision. Not gonna finish him, but really gonna beat him up bad. So. And the last fight in the card, we have Anna Melisano versus Dione Barbosa. I mean, this fight, another very one-sided fight. But the thing of Anna Melisano, I found this out like a week ago when I was looking at this card. I mean, like it's just like Anna Melisano was on the Ultimate Fighter season 33, and I remember she's being hyped up a lot with she's a really good striker. She can strike with the best of the best. Like all this hype about her. And then when she fought Melissa Amaya, another Ultimate Fighter person, she ended up losing badly, bro. Let's just say Melissa Amaya dominated her throughout the fight, but she over she landed more strikes than her. She took her down, I believe, in the fight, and she's good on the ground. Anna Milano's not very good on the ground. This is Anna Milano's debut fight, but Diana Barbosa is one more experience. She also won her last fights, and I feel like she could knock out Anna Milano, but for this fight, I'm gonna go with Dione Barbosa by decision. Anna Milano, just like the Alvin Hines versus RJ Harris fight, I feel like Dan Barbosa's gonna just lay it to Anna Milano the whole entire fight. I think Milano's gonna have a really hard time trying to keep up with Diana Barbosa because she's kind of like quick with her strikes and all that. She has good ones in her resume and more experience. And Lozano just did not look good on the Ultimate Fighter. That's why I'm judging her off, really. I don't really care about regional fights. I care about the Ultimate Fighter. That's the real UFC competition. So I'm taking Diana Barca by give me the decision. She could finish her, but I feel like Lozano can take enough shots to where he can go to 3 rounds. But Barbosa's going to dominate her and win like pretty easily. This is like probably the easiest fight of her career. No offense to Lozano, but I just don't see Lozano doing anything to her. I'm taking Diana Barbosa by decision. Overall in this card, this whole card has a lot of to me, it's gonna be a lot of finishes on this card. But the trend with this card is I'm seeing a lot of guys who are really good grappers and good wrestlers, but suck at striking. Because people are good strikers and have some grappling to them and ground game. But overall, this card, a lot of these fights seem one-sided if you look at it really deep down. But you know, uh, I feel like this kind of a lot of finishes. And I hopefully it delivers like UFC 329 did. Hopefully it will, because this card doesn't seem bad. A lot of good fights on here. A lot of upcoming prospects, fighting each other and other experienced guys. So hopefully this card is pretty good. And if you enjoy this, predictions, all this type of UFC content I'm making, like and subscribe, comment. If you want some ideas, I can make them if you request them. And I hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.